I never thought that an impulsive bid on space junk could flip my life upside down. It was supposed to be another mundane evening, scrolling through an intergalactic auction site while sipping cheap whiskey. But when the cargo arrived, and I saw what or who was inside, I realized this wasn't just another scrap haul. It was her, an alien girl, barely alive, locked in a stasis pod. I live on Ganymede, one of Jupiter's moons. It's not glamorous, far from it. The colony is mostly miners and scavengers eking out a living. Imdex Hawthorne, a mid-tier junker. My job is to sift through space debris and occasionally salvage something worthwhile. When I saw the listing on Nebula Mart, it seemed too good to be true. Unidentified object. Auction. Starting at 500 credits. No details, no specs, just a blurry image of a metallic capsule. Curiosity got the better of me. I figured it was some derelict satellite or an old escape pod. Worst case, I'd scrap it for parts. 3 days later, the delivery ship docked at my station. The crate was massive, almost twice the size I expected. The shipping manifest was full of redacted entries, which should have been my first red flag. The crew refused to help unload. "Good luck, buddy," the pilot muttered as he shoved the crate into my docking bay. After sealing the airlock, I cracked open the crate. Inside was a stasis pod covered in alien markings that pulsed faintly with light. And then I saw her. She was humanoid, with teal skin that shimmered like water under moonlight. Her hair was a cascade of silver tendrils, and her eyes, closed, looked too large for her delicate face. She was wrapped in some kind of translucent suit, her chest rising and falling faintly. My heart raced. This wasn't junk. This was a living, breathing alien. The stasis pod had a control panel with a countdown. 03:21:09. I assumed it was the time until the pod failed, but I couldn't read the alien script. I faced a moral dilemma. The smart move would be to report this to the Galactic Trade Authority. They would pay handsomely for a discovery like this. But something about her made me hesitate. She looked fragile, vulnerable. I decided to take her in. Using a translator module from my salvage inventory, I managed to decipher the pod's instructions. The stasis field was unstable, and I had no choice but to deactivate it. The pod hissed open, releasing a cloud of icy vapor. Her eyes fluttered, and she let out a sharp gasp. She bolted upright, her movements frantic. I raised my hands in a gesture of peace. Hey, it's okay. You're safe." Her gaze locked onto mine. Her eyes were a deep violet, filled with fear and confusion. Then she spoke. "Where? Am I?" The translator module was clunky, but it worked. I explained that she was on Ganymede, that Id found her pod in an auction. She introduced herself as Kayla, the last survivor of a species called the Zarian. Her planet had been annihilated by a rogue faction of AI overlords. She had been fleeing when her ship was ambushed. The pod was her last chance at survival. Over the next few days, I helped her recover. She was wary at first, but gradually she opened up. Her people were highly advanced, capable of manipulating energy fields with their minds. Word spread quickly about my mysterious cargo. A neighbor spotted Kayla through the viewport and started asking questions. The last thing I wanted was attention, but rumors in a colony like this spread faster than solar flares. It wasn't long before bounty hunters came knocking. One evening, my station's proximity alarm blared. 2 ships were hovering outside, broadcasting a message. "Dex Hawthorne, you're harboring valuable cargo. Surrender it and we won't destroy your station." Kayla's eyes widened. "They're here for me." I didn't have time to ask who they were. My station wasn't built for combat, and I couldn't risk a firefight. Kayla and I scrambled to load the pod onto my salvage ship, the Starhound. She insisted on bringing a small device from her pod, saying it was crucial. The bounty hunters were trying to cut through the airlock by the time we launched. I pushed the engines to their limit, weaving through the asteroid field around Ganymede. Kayla activated her device, creating a temporary cloaking field. "It won't last long," she warned. With the bounty hunters temporarily evaded, we set a course for the Outer Rim, a lawless region where authority rarely ventured. During the journey, Kayla taught me more about her people's technology. She used her energy manipulation abilities to repair parts of my ship, enhancing its capabilities. We grew closer. Her initial distrust faded, replaced by gratitude and curiosity. She asked endless questions about humans, Earth, and why it risked my life to save her. I guess I just couldn't leave you to die, I admitted. One night, while Kayla was asleep, I reviewed the shipping manifest again. A decrypted line caught my attention. Classified biotech, property of Zelos Corp. Zelos Corp was a mega corporation notorious for unethical experiments. If they were after Kayla, it wasn't just for her survival. They wanted to exploit her. I didn't tell her, but the realization made me more determined to protect her. Our cloaking field failed near the rim. 3 Zelos Corp ships intercepted us, their weapons primed. Kayla stepped forward. Let me handle this. Before I could protest, she extended her hands, and a radiant energy field enveloped our ship. The enemy's weapons fizzled out, their systems fried. But the effort drained her. She collapsed, her energy reserves depleted. We found refuge on a remote moon. While Kayla recovered, she revealed the truth about the device she'd brought from her pod. It's not just a tool, she said. It's a seed, a fragment of my planet's core. With it, we can rebuild. She offered me a choice. Help her find a new home for her people's legacy, or part ways. I chose to stay. Together, we embarked on a mission to find a safe haven, evading Zelos Corp and other threats along the way. Kayla wasn't just cargo. She was hope, a living reminder that even in the darkest corners of the galaxy, there's always a chance for something extraordinary. And me? I had gone from a junker to a guardian of a legacy far greater than I ever imagined. This is just the beginning of our story. The stars hold countless secrets, and with Kayla by my side, I am ready to uncover them.